Wow, the most insane 24 hours I've ever seen in crypto. That's without a shadow of a doubt. So let me walk you through what happened the last 24 hours and what we're going to be covering right here today. So first of all, we had BitBoy stream his arrest live. No kidding, he streamed his arrest live. Listen to this.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, do me a favor? Yep. Hey, how's it going? Oh, him?
Stop.
Oh, stop. I couldn't hear.
You have a weapon on you.
No, I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
So.
I have one in my vehicle, but I do not have a weapon on me.
Okay.
Okay.
Do me a favor. Take out your whatever.
This is his arrest live.
Oh, sorry, I reached too fast. I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay.
Put your phone down.
Okay.
Put your phone down.
Okay. I'll put the phone down. Okay.
There's a lot more to the story than meets the eye. We're going to cover everything in the story. I'm going to show you some stuff that probably no one else has ever seen. He is now out of jail. He's out on bail of $2,600. We're going to be discussing that story in big depth. Also, we are in a crazy situation. The US government may be shut down in less than 5 days. No kidding, guys. If the Republicans and the Democrats can't reach a deal by the 1st of October, which is less than 5 days away, we're going to have a US government shutdown. And this is going to be a serious shutdown. It's going to be the most expensive shutdown that the US government has ever seen. We're going to be covering what that actually means and why that actually could be a good thing for Bitcoin. Then we're going to be looking at the 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓 and talk about why, if on the back of a US government shutdown, why are we getting 11 straight weeks of the 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓 being strong? Surely, if the US government is shutting down, that should be bad for their currency. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Bitcoin because apparently we have had other periods where we've had this much volatility, or should I say this little volatility. I'm going to show you in the show what happens next. So it doesn't matter what the volatility is, but apparently this happened before, and I'm going to show you what happens next. And let me tell you, it may actually blow your minds. So big show. I'm back today. Let's do this. Someone here says I should call Ben, and I'm going to call Ben if we get 1,000 likes. No kidding. If we get 1,000 likes, I'm going to call Ben because he is now out of jail. He got released on a $2,600 bail. So listen, if I can get 1,000 likes by the end of the show here today, we are going to get Ben. Well, I'm going to try and get Ben live for us on the show because he is now out of jail. Otherwise, guys, how are you doing? I missed a day yesterday. Jewish holidays, you know, we have one religious day of the year that I keep, and yesterday was that day. But I'm back here today. I'm bringing you crypto love. I'm bringing you crypto wisdom. All I need you guys to do is smash the like button. Let me know what you think of what's happened in crypto in the last 24 hours. Absolutely crazy. I mean, I woke up this morning. I looked at my phone. I absolutely couldn't believe what I was reading. I could not believe what I was seeing. And we're going to talk about what I saw and what's happened since then. And there's a lot more than meets the eye on when it comes to this Ben story. Also, we're going to be talking about the US government shutdown. We're going to be talking about the SEC and specifically how they are objecting to Coinbase helping 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓 distribute their assets. So we got to talk about that. What else? We're going to be talking about altcoins. I'm going to show you one or two altcoins that are really good and really cheap. What else, guys? What else? Scarecrows. Are we talking about anything else that could be interesting for the gang? I forgot. The scarecrows don't talk. They don't talk. The scarecrows don't talk. All right. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. If you have been here for a while, let's get that 1,000 likes. If we do get that 1,000 likes, I'm going to try and make the phone call. Okay. And that's by the time we actually speak about the Ben story, which is a little bit later in today's show. Also remember, if you're not already subscribed to our other channel, the Crypto Banter Plus channel, subscribe to it. We see we've got 73,174 subscribers. That's amazing. That means we've gone up by 1,000 subscribers in like 2 days. So subscribe to that because that's where we're going to get Dylan trading after my show. Also a lot of live trading content all going to be on that show and on that channel. And then lastly, one big thing today. I'm going to show you one way that you can make a ton of money even in a bear market. So even in a bear market, I'm going to show you how you guys can make a ton of money. That's going to be at the very end of the show. So stick around. It may actually be worth it. Specifically, if you have already been part of the Banter fam and you've done one or two things, you could increase your chances of making, tell you, an absolute ton of money. I think you can make a fortune, an absolute fortune. All right, let's do this. We've got a lot to cover today. Later on, we are going to talk about Ben, but for now, let's actually talk about the Bitcoin market. Let's just understand exactly where we are. So when you look at the altcoins, by the way, how many of you have not yet tried our newsroom? You know the newsroom. This is where I get my news from. You'll see later on in the show how I actually use it. In the interim, let's look at the altcoins. I see it's a mixed day for the altcoins. Immutable X down 6%. That had a big pump last week. Remember that when the Koreans actually got hold of it. Makedah up 4.85. Pulse up. Pretty mixed day when it comes to the markets. And if I look at September, where we're at September, remember, my prediction is that we're going to finish September in the green. Let's say that I'm holding on by an absolute thread because we are still 1% up in September. I'm still sticking to my prediction. We've got 5 days to go. 5 days to go to finish in the green. We are 1% up. Let's see what actually happens. Right now, though, the sentiment is actually quite bearish. So how do I know that the sentiment is bearish? I'm looking at the perpetuals funding rate. And this shows me that because the perpetuals funding is actually negative, what that means is that there are more people wanting to take shorts than wanting to take longs. And therefore, the funding rate is actually negative. So right now, we've got negative funding. So I'm not only am I holding on by like that much to this 1%, but the sentiment is actually right now working very, 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 very much against me. I think what's also working against me is I'm like you guys. I like volatility. I'm here for the volatility. I'll be honest. I mean, obviously, I'm here for the technology and I'm here for the idealism. But actually, the biggest reason why I'm here is because I come here to get my dopamine hits. That's why I'm here. I come here because I think this is the most exciting industry in the world. Problem is, for the last couple of months, it hasn't been the most exciting industry in the world. It's had very, very, very low volatility. So on Friday, we had dinner with the team, and I asked people like Sheldon and Fred, and I asked them, I said, look, if the market continues to be at this movement, at this volatility, how long will you remain in this market? So if the volatility continues exactly as it is, how long will you be able to remain in this market? I'll tell you later on in the show what Sheldon and Fred said, and I'll tell you what I actually said. But the truth is that we have actually seen periods of low volatility like this before. Not lots, but they have actually been here before. You can see through this chart over here. The orange periods, the orange lines, are the lines with low volatility like this. Now, what you're looking for is you're not looking for low volatility, but you're looking for what happens when there's been low and prolonged volatility. So you can see it has actually happened, and it usually happens in the year before the halving. And then generally we actually get the uptick. So look, this is an extreme case, as you can see, very, very, very extreme, but it's not like this hasn't happened before. Now listen, if you are trading altcoins, I've got good news and I've got bad news for you guys. Let's quickly talk about both the good news and we'll talk about the bad news. So from a good news point of view, one is that if you look at the Bitcoin dominance for the last 5 days, Bitcoin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for the last 7 days, Bitcoin dominance is actually starting to come down. I see a lot of you are saying unbreakable. I'm unbreakable. That's from Bobby Vassie. He says, I'm unbreakable. He says, bear market is over when Runner Richard Hart is in jail. Well, get me into jail and then let's see if I can get out of jail. Everyone said, well, TJ is the snake, not Ben. We'll talk about whether TJ is a snake. I'm not sure if TJ is actually the one. Market is not moving. Gabby, we know the market is not moving, but that's how it's designed to catch you out. If you are trading altcoins, so good news, as I say to you, for the last 7 days, we've had Bitcoin dominance actually coming down. Also good news, if you look at Bitcoin relative to the majors, and you look at them throughout Q3, because we're now coming in October, we're going to be at the end of Q3. You can see for the majors, we have actually been stable against Bitcoin. So you look at Cardano, you look at ETH, you look at BNB, and you compare them to actual Bitcoin, and you'll see that they've been very, very, very flat in the last quarter. So they haven't actually slipped in the last quarter. We're also seeing that the RSIs is the relative strength indicator, which is a sentiment indicator, shows that most of the altcoins are actually in oversold territory. So usually when this happens, we do actually get a bounce. So we can actually expect some kind of bounce here if you're trading RSIs. This is the weekly RSI. You can see it's on the 1 week time frame, and it is showing you that most of these altcoins are sold out, oversold when it comes to the 1 week time frame. So usually when this happens, we can actually expect a bounce. So if you are trading altcoins, maybe you should be positioning yourself, even if it's just for a short-term bounce. You probably are going to get some kind of bounce. If you're trading the non-majors, I have seen 2 of the non-majors which have actually been, let's say, are starting to hit our buy zones. I'm going to show you one of them now. I'm going to show you another one of them a bit later in the show. So the one that I want to show you now is this one over here. This is Unibot. Now, we said that Unibot under $80 is in our buy area. You're looking at Unibot at $52.21. So that one's absolutely come down. It is still revenue generating. So if you have been looking for an entry into Unibot, I must say, at these levels yesterday, $45 yesterday, I was pretty tempted to actually jump in. But I didn't yet. I'll let you guys know. I'm going to show you one more altcoin. that is Scarecrows. You need to remind me that I got to show them another altcoin which I think is in a buy zone at the end of the show. Will you do that? Yes, sir. They said yes, sir. The Scarecrows, yes. You said yes, sir. So all in all, I'm still keeping my bullish outlook for September. I'm hoping we're going to close September green. I'm also hoping that we enter the same seasonality as we've always hit. Now, what is the seasonality that we've always hit? October, November, and December are usually positive months for Bitcoin. So that we know, if you look at this chart right over here, you can see that if you look generally at October is usually a very, very, very good month for Bitcoin. In fact, look at the averages here. Look at the averages here, huge. November, also a very big month for Bitcoin. In December, usually a very big month for Bitcoin. So we're going into a period where usually Bitcoin performs well. We basically just got to survive the next 5 days. And once you survive the next 5 days, we go into a place where seasonally Bitcoin is actually better. So that's where we are at. But you have to remember one thing. According to TED Talks Macro, it says, on average, over the past 3 years, October has been Bitcoin's best performing month. So you just got to make it to October. Then we're getting into the best performing months for Bitcoin. However, there's always a however. For Bitcoin, this is an unprecedented environment. Why? Prior to 22, Bitcoin never existed in a world with rates much higher than 2%, where they are now in late 2023. The Fed's fund rate is above 5% and will likely remain there for longer. You know, we've discussed over this. Let's see if this time is any different. So there is a disclaimer. We are getting into a much better time traditionally for Bitcoin, but Bitcoin has never seen a period with such high rates. And that's, remember, Powell came out last week at the FOMC and said rates are going to be higher and they're going to be higher for longer. You can see that. In fact, you can see it when you look at the Dixie. The Dixie is giving you exactly that message. It's saying, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We are in the 12th week of the Dixie actually being a green. So it does look like the market's positioning itself for a very, very, very strong dollar, which means that the market is pricing in higher rates for longer. And that's what Jamie Dimon's actually saying. Jamie Dimon actually said earlier today, he said that you should be preparing yourself for the worst case scenario of US rates rising as high as 7%. Now, where are we now? We're on 5 let's just quickly see where we're at. We are here. Remember, this is the dot plot, which the Fed officials did in the last Fed meeting. And you can see that right now we are between 5.25 and 5.5. And most Fed officials actually see another rise in interest rates, right? So most Fed officials said there's going to be another increase in interest rates. Jamie Dimon says there's going to be a lot more. You're going to go up to 7%. The market's not buying any of the shit. The market's saying, look, 80% chance of no interest rate increase in November, and then a 60% chance of no interest rate increase in December. As I said to you, where I stand on this is that I think we're going to get one more interest rate hike. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I actually agree with the Fed officials. I think we're going to get at least one more rate hike. And then I think rates are going to be higher for longer, because what Powell has to do, Powell has to reduce the speed or the vigor at which this economy is growing. This economy is growing at an absolutely incredible pace. Of course, why? Because they printed so much money during the stimulus era. But just have a look at this. So we have GDP numbers coming out on the 28th. So today's the 26th, so it's on Wednesday. We get the GDP numbers coming out. The forecast is that quarterly, the GDP of the US is going to continue to grow at 2.2%, which means that the GDP of the US is going to grow at over 8%. Now, what does that mean? It means that even if inflation is at 5%, the GDP of the US is going to grow at 8%, which means that all forecasts agree that the US GDP will be 3% above inflation, which is basically, it means that the economy is absolutely overheating. And what Powell's got to do is Powell's got to slow down this economy. Not only that, since the 1940s, we've only seen 2 other instances of US GDP growth being bigger than 40%. And that was in 75 to 79, where there was a period of runaway inflation, and then in 49 to 52. Otherwise, the US economy has grown so much in the years 20 to 23, it's actually unprecedented. And what you can see is Powell is actually slowing things down. You can see that the job openings have actually started to drop here. And you can see that the S&P is actually continues to go up. So chances are something has got to give if the correlation of these two charts actually has to remain. Meanwhile, we are looking at the NASDAQ. It is another 1% down. It is cooling down slightly. I don't think it's anyway to get anything to get stressed about, but definitely cooling down after last week's FOMC meeting. So it is something that we have to talk about. I think one thing that we really have to talk about, and probably now is a good time to do that, is to talk about the Dixie, get the elephant out of the room. Because what we have here is we have the dollar index strengthening on the back of the fact that the US government may actually shut down. So in 5 days, if the Democrats and the Republicans cannot reach an agreement around the spend in Washington, then we're going to get a US shutdown. And a US shutdown could be detrimental. It could be, I mean, probably the right word for me is cataclysmic. If we get a US shutdown, I want to show you what actually happens if we get this US shutdown. I did see some news articles earlier on today that says, it says if the US and Democrats, if the Republicans, Democrats don't reach a spending deal before 1 October, much of the federal government will have to shut down. Here's what may happen. I also read another article which says that if it does happen, this is going to be the costliest shutdown in the history of the United States. So, look, US government shutdowns, we've kind of become used to them, right? Like we kind of become used to the fact that the Democrats and the Republicans keep arguing, and then like the last time that they were talking about a government shutdown, you'll remember, was when they had the US debt ceiling. Remember when we had the US debt ceiling crisis and the Democrats wanted to raise the debt ceiling above $32 trillion? And then they argued until the very, very, very end. And I said to you guys, don't worry, because this is just campaigning. This is just theatrics. And eventually they will reach a deal because neither of them want the debt ceiling not raised. Neither of them want the government actually shut down. And that's exactly what happened. They almost shut down the government. Do you remember that? So the same thing's happening here. And what the Republicans are actually trying to do, so this is phase 2. The first thing they had to do was raise the debt ceiling, which they did. Remember, they said, we're going to raise the debt ceiling above 32 trillion, and we're going to allow the government to continue getting debt so that they can continue to fund their spend. Now, what they've got to agree on is they've actually got to agree on the spending. So phase 1, they agreed to raise the debt ceiling, but now they've actually got to agree on the spending. And that is where they are at the moment. They're in a bit of a gridlock. So you've got the Republicans who are saying the Republican-controlled House of Representatives is due to try and advance steep spending cuts this week that stand no chance of becoming law and could face a partial shutdown of the US government by Sunday. So Kevin McCarthy is leading the Republicans to say, look, we're going to carry on pushing until the Democrats actually stop spending. He says, sought to avoid a scenario when he hammered out a spending agreement with the Democratic Party in the spring, but some members of his own party have threatened to depose him if he does not support steeper cuts that are sure to be rejected by the Democrat-controlled alliance. So this is what's happening out there. As I said, it's not, we've had US shutdowns before. In 2018, we had a shutdown that we had shutdowns lasting 36 days in total. So what actually happens if we do get a shutdown? What actually happens? Well, effectively, a few things happen. The first thing is that a lot of US government services get stopped. So, like the CPI readings that we get and the economic data that we get, well, believe it or not, there are actually people in the government that actually put those things together. And if they're not paid, they're not going to put those things together. And what the market is worried about now is they're saying, look, how can we navigate? How can we fly blind if we don't get this data? So what's worrying the markets at the moment is if the US government shuts down, not only is it very, very, very expensive. I mean, the last US government shutdown cost the US, I think something like $3 billion, if I read correctly. Let's just have a look here. So the most expensive government shutdown in history cost about $3 billion, okay? There's another shutdown looming. So it's going to be very, very, very expensive. That's the first thing. The markets are also worried that they're not going to get their economic data if you get the shutdown. And the next thing that is, for me, even more worrying than not getting the data and the direct cost to the US economy of this US government shutdown is the fact that the US actually may be downgraded by Moody's. So you'll remember that Fitch downgraded the United States. Remember that we had Fitch cutting the US credit rating to AA+, and you remember that this was just after they failed to agree on the debt ceiling. Do you remember that? Well, here we are again. And now this time Moody's, which is the one rating agency that still hasn't cut down the US's credit rating, they're saying, look, if you can't agree now, then we may be forced to actually downgrade you. If the US government actually gets shut down, then we may actually be forced to downgrade you. And then you've got 3 out of 3 rating agencies which have downgraded the United States. And that's not a good place to be. So this could be the most expensive shutdown in history, not only from a direct implication of the fact that the US government's going to lose money and the fact they're not going to get economic data, and that may actually scare the market. That's the one side of the coin. But this may actually lead to 3 out of 3 of the rating agencies actually downgrading the United States. And the cost of the downgrade in the United States by 3 out of 3 agencies could be quite big. Why? Because there's certain funds that say, well, look, if you don't have at least one higher rating, then you actually fall into the lower rating, and certain funds are not allowed to invest in your treasuries and stuff like that. So we are keeping our eyes open here. Hopefully they will reach an agreement in the next 5 days. If you ask me, again, I think this is theatrics. It's the Democrats and the Republicans both campaigning 1 year before the elections, trying to show you how bad the other side is. So I did pick up some clips of Joe Biden knocking the Republicans, and I'm sure there's many, many, many of these.
I want to say a word about those in Congress who are willing to shut down the government. Just a few months ago, the Speaker of the House and I agreed to spending levels for the government. We were up right to the very edge, almost reneged on our debt, and that we're going to fund essential priorities and still cut the deficit by $1 trillion over the next decade. Now a small group of extreme House Republicans, they don't want to live up to that deal, and everyone in America could be faced with paying the price for that. We changed it. We made a deal. We shook hands. Funding the government is one of the most basic fundamental responsibilities of the Congress.
Both sides now campaigning. The Democrats are making the Republicans look bad. The Republicans are making the Democrats look bad. That's what this whole thing is about. And if you ask me, what's going to happen is they're going to work all the way up until Friday. On Friday, they're all going to say, look, we're not leaving here on Friday night until we reach an agreement. They're going to work through the whole of Saturday. And on Sunday, just before the government shutdown, they're going to agree on something and everything's going to be okay. That's kind of how I see this playing out. It's exactly what I told you with the old government shutdown, where I said to you, they're going to fight debt ceiling until the very, 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 very end, where both sides are actually going to stress. They're going to score as many points against the other side as possible in the court of public opinion, and then they're going to sort it out, and we're going to move on to the next thing. What they don't realize is when mommy and daddy fight, what's being hurt here is they're hurting the country, they're hurting the family, they're hurting the United States credit rating, and that is why Fitch downgraded them, and Moody's is about to do the same. So I don't know. I would say to the US, best that you sort your shit out. Because if you don't, you're actually just going to destroy the country even more. And I think you know where my views are when it comes to that. All right, I see we're nearly at 1,000 likes. So when we get to 1,000 likes, I am going to phone Ben and see if he wants to join us on the show. In fact, let me just ping him and just tell him that I'm calling him. Hold on. Yo. You want to... He's had a rough night. He's been in prison the whole night. Okay, I've sent him the message that I will be calling him just now. Let's see if he takes it. He's had a rough night. So let's quickly recap what happened in the last 24 hours when it comes to Ben Armstrong. It's been a crazy 24 hours. I couldn't believe when I woke up this morning and I saw exactly what happened. So here is how the story played out. If you tell this to the aliens, they will never believe you that something like this happened. By the way, that's the official mugshot. So this is how it started, okay? Ben turned around and said, I'll be going live soon from a very special location on YouTube. So get ready, this is going to be good. And that's exactly what he did. He set up a YouTube stream, and the YouTube stream, he titled the YouTube stream, get this, he titled his YouTube stream. I would show this to you on YouTube, but he actually took down the actual YouTube. He titled his stream, Live Streaming from Carlos's House, where my Lamborghini is. So he kind of gave Carlos a lot of forewarning. Listen, I'm coming to your house. You should phone the police. And then what happened is Ben arrived outside Carlos's house. No jokes, no kidding. Here it is. Here is the actual 37-minute video of Ben arriving outside Carlos's house. Listen to this.
To Carlos's house. This is where Carlos lives, guys. I am live streaming from Carlos's house. Carlos has my Lamborghini right here in his garage. So today, guys, I'm gonna be live streaming and I'm gonna be telling the entire story of Carlos Diaz, who Carlos Diaz is. I'm gonna be talking about all the people he's affiliated with. I'm gonna be talking about how he got into my building. I'm gonna talk about all of it. Hope you guys are ready.
Okay, so that's it. He's outside Carlos's house. He is streaming live. He's gone to take back his Lamborghini, which technically isn't his, by the way. Technically, that Lamborghini is now owned by Carlos. The title belongs to Carlos. Okay, we'll talk about how we got there. I want you to notice a very, very, very important detail in this tweet. Okay, so in this video. So in this video, at 1 minute 18, I want you to watch what happens.
Just answer.
Okay.
That work.
Actually, let's go back one second.
Building all the people he's affiliated with. I'm gonna be talking about
You're gonna laugh.
how he got into my building. I'm gonna talk about all of it. Hope you guys are ready. He just answered the door, so I know this is him for sure. Right here. I'm not scared of you, Carlos. I'm not scared.
Okay, it gets worse. Okay, so watch this. Now, at 1 minute 18, this is the part that you need to look out for. At 1 minute 18, Ben goes to his truck. Okay, here we go. Watch 1 minute 18.
And Carlos says this. Hey, man. He says this to Justin and TJ because Justin and TJ were there and I was out of town. So here's what happens. Okay? What occurs?
Okay, watch.
Hold on one second.
He goes to his truck.
Hold on one second. Hold on, I need to put something up. I don't think he's gonna kill me. I don't think he's gonna kill me live on YouTube.
He says, I don't think he's gonna kill me, and he goes to the car and he puts something in the back seat of the car. Now, listen very carefully. You'll hear the fact that there is someone in the car. What is he putting in the car? I'll show you in a second what he actually ended up putting in the car. And now there's someone in the car. You can see there's someone in the car. I'll tell you in a second who that someone is.
So, the point is, he comes to my building.
All right, he tells the whole story. I mean, you can go and get this tweet later on. The tweet is by 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓. You can, do I actually follow this guy? I should follow him. 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓. Go and check it out. Let's go forward a bit. Let's go to about 12 minutes, and you'll see that BitBoy actually starts to get a lot more aggressive and a lot more vocal. Okay, so listen.
He's got loose lips, extremely loose lips. He will say anything. He also said, let's talk about Maxine Waters. You guys know Maxine Waters, the congresswoman from California. Now I want to be very clear here. What Carlos told me is false, I believe. I don't think well, when you listen to how idiotic it sounds.
Listen to how aggressive he gets.
This will make sense to you, okay? And guys, please, there is no cool, calm, and collected for me. I'm emotional. These people have tried to destroy my life, and I'm standing up for it, and I'm saying, no more, Carlos! No more! I'm not accepting it. And the point is what he says, you have to understand what happened between me.
That's what happens, and this carries on for another 15, 20 minutes. Remember, he's now knocked on Carlos's door. I'll show you let me show you what happened when he knocked on Carlos's door. You can see that. Here is the video of him knocking on Carlos's door.
I go knock on the door, and you know what he does? He turns and he runs, because he's a pussy.
Okay, so okay, all right, let's get serious. Let's get serious. Okay, so wait, sorry. Let me just get my composure back. So, long story short, BitBoy now does this, and then about 5 minutes after this, here's what happens. Oh man, hold on. Twitter's is geeking out on me. Hold on a second. Let's try get this done. Okay, so about 5 minutes later,
I am live streaming.
Okay, hold on. Let's get to 18 minutes. This is what happens, and this is the actual race. Now, remember, I said to you, look at who's in the car, and then look at what he put in the back seat. Listen carefully. Watch this. So,
I don't know what that means. All I know is we're trying to negotiate, but he takes it into his. Here come the police.
Okay, now you see, the police have arrived.
Here come the police. Here they are. Here they are. Here's the police. Here's the police. Police are here, guys. So we'll have to talk to him here in a second. Here's the point. He goes out there, he doesn't even go out there, he pays someone to take pictures in front of 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓's house, okay? And then he tells them, I better hurry up quickly here. He told me he went out there and roughed up 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓, fought him and beat him up, and Maxine Waters, a politician, told him to kill 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓 with a fentanyl syringe. Hey guys.
Okay, now the cops are here.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, do me a favor.
Yep.
Hey, stop.
Hey, how's it going? Oh, him?
Stop.
Oh, stop, I couldn't
You
hear.
have a weapon on you.
No, I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
So,
I have one in my vehicle, but I do not have a weapon on me.
okay.
Okay.
Do me a favor. Take out your whatever fanny pack.
I'm sorry, I reached too fast. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Take out your
Sorry.
fanny
Okay.
Take down the fanny pack.
pack. Down.
Okay.
Put the phone
This-
down.
Okay.
You
I'll
can't
put the
script
phone
this
down.
better. You couldn't script
Okay.
this better.
Put the phone.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Put the phone down.
Put the fanny pack down.
Okay.
Put the fanny pack down.
What's going on?
What's going on? This man inside of this house.
Actually, he's gonna check you real quick.
Absolutely.
Just the weapons.
I'm sorry. I have a. Okay. Okay. Yep. No weapons. No
Where
weapons.
in the car is your gun?
It's in the back seat.
Back seat?
Okay.
Is it in-
Now he says, "Where is your gun?" He says it's in the back seat. So remember what Ben put. Ben, when he knocked on the door, had a gun on him. And when he said, Carlos is not going to shoot me live on YouTube, he put the gun back in the car. Now the police officer asks him, who else is in the truck? Who do you think's in the truck? If you were to guess, who's in the truck? Who do you think's in the truck?
Anybody else in the car?
Yes.
He's trying to avoid the
Who's in
question.
the car? Who?
What's that?
Who's in your car?
Who's in my car?
Yes.
Okay. Let's.
Who's in your car?
Who's in my car?
Who's in your truck, sir?
Cassie is in my car. Cassie's in my
All
truck.
right, Cassie.
Cassie's in my truck. My wife knows that we're here, by the way. She knows we came to do this. But my wife is aware. So we're live on YouTube right now.
Okay.
We got about 2,500 people watching. So Cassie is a girl I had an affair with. She's involved in the situation with me and this guy here. My wife knows. We were just at my daughter's tennis match. Cassie and I have came over here because this man is
Step over
extorting
here.
me.
Step over here. Step over here.
He's death threatening me.
Step over here.
He stole my Lamborghini. My Lamborghini is in his garage right now. In his garage.
All right, get over here.
Okay? Absolutely.
Okay, so now he's arrested. Cassie, who he's having an affair with, which is public knowledge. Well, but I thought the affair was finished, and Ben was trying to patch things up. She was in the car with him when he actually got arrested. He was then arrested. He was arrested for loitering. He was arrested. I think the charges were just loitering. Let's have a look here. Has been released on bail after he was arrested during the late hours of Monday for an apparent confrontation with his business partner, of which, he was arrested for loitering. Where do we stand right now? So here is the official mugshot. This is the official Ben mugshot over here. Crazy stuff. I can't believe what we're going through here. Here is the confirmation that he was actually arrested, and he has now been released on bail. The bail was $2,600, and he is out. He is actually out on bail. He came out with a tweet. Hold on a second. Now let's just get this tweet and go through the series of tweets. He said, "This is the hardest thing I've ever had to make. I need to make a confession I never imagined I would admit. I'm not even really sure if I have the courage to say it, but I'm going to do my best. Here it goes. My name is Ben, and I'm a loiterer." He was arrested for loitering. I did a whole 8 hours in the slammer. So he was in the slammer. I think the second time in his life that he was in the slammer. And he was there for 8 hours for loitering. He's out on bail, $2,600. He says, "In all seriousness, I will be back on the show tomorrow, like normal. Like normal, like nothing ever happened. I have PTSD from what TJ has done to me. My company has been stolen. I was extorted from my Lambo. I'm angry about all of us. I'm beyond angry. The only thing exceeding the anger is hurt." He says, "I may have been excited and sound a little crazy, but literally every word I said last night is true, but I could have delivered it better and in a different way. I was not on drugs. I was on adrenaline facing my bully finally. Going forward, I will only be discussing what has occurred, not what I'm doing legally. I'm going to just let that play out. And to the juicy gossip everyone cares about, but isn't your business. I'm married. I love my wife. I love my kids. We're not getting divorced." I bet you his wife didn't know that Cassie was in the car. Also, "My uncle TJ and his goons have created a world for me where I was once close to suicide, like I had a gun in my hand. They were willing to push me that far. They wanted to break me and Cassie up desperately. Why? No, not because of an affair, not for the sake of the family. They wanted to break up Cassie and I because Cassie was pushing pushing lawsuits while I wanted to mediate. As you could see on the calls last night, TJ was never willing to mediate. Hold on, let's just change the senior. TJ was never really ready to mediate, but Cassie finally broke through to me. She told me not to negotiate with terrorists. So they were saying, look, TJ and them are trying to break Cassie and Ben up because Cassie is trying to stop the negotiation and actually get them to litigate. Anyway, so this is what's going on. He says, so me, my wife, and Cassie are trying to figure this out. We're all grown adults making our own decisions, and we don't need any of you to help us with decisions, so please butt out of my personal life. If you want some really, really, really interesting viewing, what I recommend you do is you go to Altcoin Daily on YouTube, and you look for this video. So this video over here, because here, TJ breaks down the other side of it. So then you can hear both TJ's side and you can hear Ben's side of what's actually going on. Like, regardless, this is the craziest situation I've ever seen in my life. And I actually can't believe it. This is what we're down talking about. Anyway, he's out now, $2,600. Let's see if he's responded. Let's try and get him on the phone. Okay, it won't let me call him because he's set a restriction on people that can call him. It says you can't call him via Telegram. I'm going to ping him again and tell him to join our stream. I have already asked him. Actually, we can also get him on Twitter. Say to him, hey, Ben, you want to join our stream or something? So guys, let's get that going. Let's get everybody going there. Couple of things that I thought were very, 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 they're probably worth looking at. So one, Carlos posted this today. I did show you guys, but let's look at it again together.
I go knock on the door, and you know what he does? He turns and he runs because he's a pussy.
I do want to show you another tweet which I thought was absolutely hilarious. So,
Crypto. Hey, ask me how I'm doing. Ask me how I'm doing. Go ahead. Ask me how I'm doing. I'm doing better than ever right now while I know that my boss has basically extorted and blackmailed and launched a freaking coup. Crypto.
This is him on the way to doing this.
Ask me how I'm doing. Ask me how I'm doing.
Okay, I don't want to play that because I'm going to get blacklisted on YouTube.
I go knock on the door, and you know what he does? He turns and he runs because he's a pussy.
And it obviously landed up with the arrest. Some other really funny things that I've seen here. So, well, one is he's written off everybody. So he says, look, if you allowed TJ onto the channel, then I'm writing you off. So even his good friends like Altcoin Daily, no longer his friends. Wendy O, he says, while I'm naming my enemies, let me not forget Wendy O, supposed to be my best friend in crypto, puts out a video cloud chasing about me and my fake relapse. So writing off Wendy O. As Algo Trading says, he says, Bitcoin truly made some wife-changing money. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I really feel sorry for BitBoy's wife through all of this. Like, I mean, this is public humiliation of the wife and the kids. And he just carries on and carries on and carries on. Anyway, listen, I hope he works it out. He's welcome to come here on the channel. I have invited him. I hope he joins us. He can join us today, tomorrow. I've also invited, for full disclosure, I've invited TJ and I've invited Justin Williams, who's also one of the partners, to come and join us on a Twitter Spaces. Let's see if they've got back to us today. Remember, there's a time difference. They may have just woken up. Let's have a look here. Has Justin Williams woken up yet? He says, I'm up. You want to jump on a stream or a Spaces? So I've got Justin Williams here. Let's see what happens. All right, so that is the BitBoy story. Let's go into another story, and that is Coinbase against the SEC. So you know that Coinbase is now helping Celsius liquidate their assets and start distributing the money. That's kind of like what Celsius is doing. So the SEC has now come and said, no, we're raising concerns of the Coinbase objecting. The SEC raises concerns over Coinbase in objection to Celsius restructuring plan. So Celsius has got a restructuring plan, which everyone's voted for, to get people paid, basically to liquidate the altcoins and to start getting people paid. And the SEC is objecting to this. So the Coinbase lawyer, Paul, he says, Coinbase is proud to engage with Celsius to distribute crypto back to its customers. I wonder why the SEC would object to a trusted US public company taking this role. We look forward to addressing this with the bankruptcy court and undertaking our important role we make to making customers whole. So the SEC, again, we just want to get our money back. The Celsius creditors just want to get their money back, and the SEC just standing in there going, you're not going to get your money back. You're not going to get your money back. We're going to stand in the way. So, yeah. First of all, listen, I can't believe that you guys got us to 1,300 likes. That is absolutely amazing. I told you that if we do get to 1,300 likes, I'm going to try to get Ben on the show. I'm still trying. Justin hasn't read my message yet. Ben, let's quickly just have a look here. I also said I'm going to show you one more altcoin, which I think is getting into my buy zones. Here it is. The altcoin that I think is getting into my buy zones is Rollbit. So it is at 10.3 cents. I think at like between 8 and 10 cents. This thing's definitely going to be a buy. Lastly, before we talk about other things, I remember I said to you that there is an opportunity for you guys to actually make some money in the bear market and in the bull market and actually make money for a long time, forever. So imagine I put you in a position where I said to you, listen, if you do something, you will get money. Not only today, but you'll get money every day of the year from now till the end of time. You guys will just continue to get money and get money and get money. Would you do it? That's the question. Tell me in the comments. Would you actually do it? So if I said to you, listen, if you do something today and then you do something else, then from that point, every single day, you will get money deposited into your bank account. Some days you get a little bit of money, some days you get a lot of money, but every single day you get money into your bank account. Would you do it? Would you do it? Of course you do it. I mean, I'm reading the comments here. Of course you're going to do it. So this is what you need to do. It's very, very, very simple. I just want to make sure that I've got the right email address for you guys because I know that you're all going to jump down my throat here. So let me just get the right email for you guys. So here is how it actually works. Just one second. Hold on a second. I want to make sure that I give you guys the right email because if I give you guys the wrong email and you guys start sending emails to the wrong emails, hold on a second. All right, here it is. So here's how it works. If you signed up to an OKX account using a Crypto Banter referral link, or if you haven't yet signed up, you can sign up with one below. We're going to give you the opportunity to earn money by getting other people to sign up. So it's very simple. If you signed up using our referral link, any Crypto Banter referral link, Ryan, Sheldon, Miles, anyone that you want, we're going to give you an opportunity to actually encourage your friends and other people to sign up. And if they do sign up, then you get money every single time that they trade. Every single day, you will get money into your bank, into your OKX account. Here's how it works, okay? Send me a mail to okxrev, okxrev at cryptobanter.com. That email must say, my name is, I signed up using this email address, and I'd like to join your affiliate program. Then what happens is we will reply with a mail and we will send you a unique link to get your friends to sign up. And if you get people to sign up every single time that they trade, you will actually get money from their trades. Very, very, very simple. So just by the mere fact that you used our links, we're giving you an opportunity to get other people to sign up. And if they do sign up, you will get money every single day for as long as they trade. You guys will continue to get money. Very, very, very simple. What you need to do is you need to send us a mail to okxrev at cryptobanter.com. Then, if you haven't already got a Bybit account, sign up today using your Bybit account. Deposit $100, you will get $100. So, simple as that. You get $100 for free. Sign up, deposit $100 into your Bybit account, you will get $100. Simple as that. Two unbelievable ways to actually earn money. One is, OKX, just do what I said. If you have already signed up, just send us a mail to okxrev at cryptobanter.com. Tell us that your name is and you want to sign up for this program. Then we will send you a mail back with your own unique referral link. When you get that referral link, every time you get someone to sign up, you will get ongoing revenue. Every time they trade, you'll get ongoing revenue. And then if you want just a free $100, there's a Bybit link below. Sign up with a Bybit link below, deposit $100 and you will get $100. Now, that is very, very limited because once we've given away all the $100, it's gone. So it's not for everybody. It's just for some people. All right, lastly, before we go, let's quickly just have a look at the bubbles and the newsroom and just see if there is any news in the newsroom. Remember, this is the tool that we built for you guys so you can see how we make our shows. This is the 44 Banter researchers. Here are the bubbles. You can watch the news scrolling, while at the same time you can see what effect it's actually having on the markets. So Apple's going slightly down. Draper is busy today. I'm just looking to see if there's anything that's happened in the while we were live, so last 30 minutes or 40 minutes. Robert Kiyosaki says, bye Bitcoin. Bye-bye US dollar. Okay, we've read that. All right, so nothing happened during the iOS app or the Android app. Guys, I love you guys madly. Join us on Twitter Spaces now. There is a Twitter Spaces. Join us now. We're gonna try and get TJ on and Justin Williams and maybe even BitBoy on if he's actually. Sorry, I'm not calling BitBoy. Ben Armstrong on. No, he hasn't responded yet. I think he's had a rough night. See you guys again tomorrow. Until then, trade well, my friends.